Once upon a time, deep in the green rolling hills, there lived a little dwarf named Doby. Doby was small, with a round belly, short legs, and a long brown beard that almost touched the ground. He wore a red hat, brown boots, and a belt with a shiny gold buckle. Doby lived in a cozy little house built inside a big oak tree. His door was round, and his windows were shaped like stars. Inside, his house was warm and filled with tiny furniture, books, and jars of delicious honey. Every morning, Doby woke up early, stretched his short arms, and looked out his window. He loved listening to the birds sing and feeling the fresh morning air. One day, as Doby sipped his warm tea, he saw something strange outside a small, sparkling map stuck in the branches of a bush. Chapter 2. The Secret Map. Doby put down his tea and hurried outside. He carefully pulled the map from the bush and held it up to the sunlight. The paper was old and crinkly, but the drawings were clear. There was a picture of a mountain, a river, a giant tree, and at the very end a big X. Doby's heart raced with excitement. A treasure map! I must find the treasure, he whispered to himself. He quickly packed his tiny backpack with snacks, a lantern, and a rope. Then, he put on his best adventure boots and set off on his journey. Chapter 3. Meeting the Talking Squirrel. As Doby walked through the forest, he heard a tiny voice calling, "Hey, wait for me." Doby looked up and saw Chippy the squirrel jumping from tree to tree. Chippy had a fluffy tail, bright eyes, and loved to talk. "Where are you going, Doby?" Chippy asked, landing on a low branch. "I found a treasure map," Doby said excitedly. "I'm going on an adventure." Chippy's eyes sparkled. "Ooh, can I come too? I'm very good at finding things." Doby smiled. "Of course, let's go together." So, the little dwarf and the chatty squirrel walked side by side, following the map. Chapter 4. The Wobbly Bridge. Soon, they reached a fast-moving river. The only way to cross was an old wooden bridge with missing planks. The water rushed below, making splashing sounds. Doby took a deep breath. "We must be careful, Chippy." Step by step, they walked across the bridge. The wood creaked, and the wind made it sway. Suddenly, crack! One of the planks broke. Doby wobbled, almost falling. But quick as lightning, Chippy grabbed Doby's belt with his tiny paws. "Hold on, Doby!" Chippy shouted. Doby grabbed the rope from his bag and tied it around a strong post. Using the rope, he carefully balanced and made it across. Chippy hopped behind him. "That was close," Doby said, catching his breath. "But we did it," Chippy cheered. They high-fived and continued their journey. Chapter 5. The Talking Tree. Following the map, they soon found themselves in front of a giant tree with silver leaves. It was bigger than any tree Doby had ever seen. As they got closer, the tree moved. Its branches stretched, and a deep, warm voice spoke. "Who dares to enter my forest?" Doby and Chippy gasped. "It's a talking tree," Chippy whispered. Doby bowed politely. "Great tree, we are searching for treasure. May we pass through?" The tree chuckled. "Only if you answer my riddle." Doby nodded. "We love riddles." The tree asked, "I have leaves, but I'm not a book. I give shade, but I am not an umbrella. What am I?" Doby and Chippy thought hard. Then Chippy jumped up. "A tree! The answer is a tree." The giant tree laughed. "You are clever, you may pass." The tree moved its branches aside, opening a path for them. Chapter 6. The Cave of Fireflies. Past the tree, they reached a dark cave. Inside, tiny glowing lights danced in the air. "Wow, "Fireflies," Doby said, amazed. They walked deeper into the cave. Then, bump! Doby hit something. "Ouch!" he said, rubbing his nose. It was a big stone door with symbols carved on it. Chippy read them aloud. To open the door, press the moon and the sun together. Doby looked at the carvings. He pressed the moon and the sun symbols at the same time. Rumble. The door slowly opened, revealing a bright, golden light. Chapter 7. The Hidden Treasure. Inside the cave, they saw a chest covered in vines. Doby brushed away the leaves and slowly lifted the lid. Inside were gold coins, shiny gems, and a beautiful silver crown. Doby and Chippy stared in awe. "We found the treasure," Chippy cheered. But as Doby looked closer, he saw a note inside the chest. It said, "To the one who finds this treasure, share it with kindness, and you will always have happiness." Doby smiled. "I will share this treasure with the forest creatures. We will build a beautiful place for all to enjoy." Chippy nodded. "That's the best treasure of all." Chapter 8. Home again. Doby and Chippy carried as much treasure as they could and made their way home. They used the gold to build a playground for the little animals, a food storage for winter, and a cozy reading spot under the big oak tree. That night, as Doby sat by his fireplace, sipping his tea, he smiled. He had found more than treasure, he had found adventure, friendship, and the joy of giving. And from that day on, Doby the little dwarf became the happiest dwarf in all the hills. The end.